Live from the House of LeMay Makeup and Dressing Room.
Here comes Amber, stop what you're doing. Here comes Amber, she's just doing what she can. Here comes Amber, cue the spotlight. Here comes Amber with 2 drinks in her hand. The matriarch of fashion, from sequins to her glasses, you can't look away. Ask her, does she do it? There's really nothing to it. She's got that feminine gaze. If you have a party, or if you're feeling naughty, call up the House of LeMay. Here comes your favorite gal. Here comes your queen. Here comes the talk of the town. It's Amber Live tonight. The music starts to play and it's time for cabareting on Amber Live tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off all cell phones and get ready for your host, Amber LeMay.
Hello there. Happy Sunday, everyone. Can you believe it's the last Sunday in April? Next week it's May already. Boy, time sure flies when you're having fun. Now, I know some of you are probably switching back and forth watching the Oscars tonight. Why? Did you see any of the movies? Really? Did you? Maybe the Nomadland or one of those, but you didn't see them all. So just stay right here. You can check tomorrow who won and everything, as if you'd know anybody, okay? So it's Amber Live tonight for the next hour or so. We've got a great show for you. But you know what? First, let's check out the headlines. Headlines! A January 6th rioter was arrested by the FBI because of his Bumble account. Now, for those who don't know, Bumble is a dating app. What a weird name for a dating app, Bumble. The definition of Bumble is move or act in an awkward or confused manner. Maybe it's not such an inappropriate name for a dating app after all. Anyway, this Capitol rioter was turned in by someone who matched up with him on Bumble, where in the app's chat, he admitted to storming the Capitol on January 6th, saying he made it all the way to Sanctuary Hall. The woman responded with, I don't think we're a match, but I can think of someone who might be interested in you. And the FBI said, we are. We'll be right over with handcuffs. Now, in other idiot insurrection news, a Florida man, how many of them are there? And also a January 6th rioter was turned in by his own family after posting online videos of himself in the Capitol. Now, Kenneth Kelly claimed in the videos that he was in the White House watering the Tree of Liberty, I guess, which is rioter code for pissing in the corner of the rotunda. Now, this guy didn't know the difference between the White House and the Capitol because why bother learning anything about where you're rioting as long as it doesn't get in the way of why you're rioting? Florida, they're not sending their best. Oh, maybe they are. This might be as good as it gets from the Sunshine State. Now, speaking of election nut jobs, my pillow guy and soggy religious nut Mike Lindell has failed to launch. Oh, true in so many ways. The avid Trump supporter claimed he created a new social media platform called Frank, which is hybrid of Twitter and YouTube that will be resistant to having things taken down. So as long as you don't swear, put up porn, or take the Lord's name in vain. But to be frank, the platform did not launch as was promised, with no updates from Lindell, leaving desperate conspiracy theorists nowhere to claim Trump is still president. Now, putting your faith in God is one thing. Putting your faith in a crazy pillow zealot who thinks child-molesting demon Democrats stole the election from his golden god, the world's worst president, is something entirely different. Now for something totally different. In Pride news, Kellogg cereal is making a Pride Month cereal again, and this time they've added edible glitter. This could backfire in a few years when the kids who eat it today go to their first Pride parade and think that glitter on the dancing unicorn is edible as well. It's not. Trust me, kids. It never is. Now, looking at the box with all the cereal mascots, now, they've all always been gay, right? Tony the tiger, I mean, that's a cute neckerchief he's got there. And Toucan Sam's beak has always been pride-friendly. And shall we talk about Snap, Crackle, and Pop? Those three are not roommates. Well, I'm glad they get to be proud, too. And that's this week's headlines. So on with the show. This is it. Hey, Russell, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, Amber, I'm doing well. How's your week been?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. It's a kind of a gloomy day here in Burlington. It started off sunny. Yesterday was beautiful, but then it got a little gloomy. But who knows? It's April, just for a little more longer, though. How about New York? What was happening there today?
We had rain in the morning. It was gloomy, and then it kind of cleared up, I guess, in the afternoon. But it was pretty much over by the time it was clear.
Well, I'm looking forward to the Mayflowers, that's for sure. Bring them on.
Yes.
Bring them on.
They are Russell, coming soon.
I know we've got some new watchers tonight. Let's cue them in on what's the best way to watch.
Well, the best way to watch, as always, is on YouTube, because YouTube is in full HD. If you're watching on Facebook, you're getting it Amber at 720. If you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing her at full 1080 in all her glory. So we recommend YouTube. And then while you're on YouTube, all you have to do is click the like and share button and subscribe to us. And if you subscribe to us, you can also hit the little notification. And then you'll get, if you hit that bell every time we go live, you'll get a notification that Amber is still alive. I mean, live.
Yes, yes, we want to do that. Oh, and you'll find out on Wednesday nights, we've been doing this Amber chat. We've done it for the past 18 weeks. Seems weird so far. But, oh my gosh, this past Wednesday was something totally, and we don't want to talk too much about it because we don't want to get anybody in trouble, but you had to have been there. The conversations we had from someone who was watching and then their boss got involved.
We always say you never know what will happen on Amber Chat, and this Wednesday that came true for real. We did not know what was going to happen.
Oh my goodness! Well, it's 8 o'clock. Usually about 8:15 on Wednesday nights. Stop in, talk. You can comment. You can come online. You can come on air and talk. And we just have lots of fun. We never know what we're going to talk about, but it's a great way to just do something on Hump Day. Yeah. Hump right into Thursday. Yeah. So, but one thing that's really was cool this week is in the past 7 days, the Vermont's local weekly independent newspaper, it's a great paper, they always had their Daisy Awards where they honor the bests of everything. Well, this past year, nothing's been open. So they've changed their ideas. And so now they're looking for Pandemic All-Stars, which is a pretty cool thing. And there's a couple of ways that you could nominate Amber Live if you'd like to. There's one category in the arts and entertainment section that says, what presenter gets a standing up from the couch ovation for its live stream performing arts events? Well, we've been doing this for, I think, like 57, 58 weeks every Sunday night. That's one thing. But also, we've done two really special shows, too. There was the Don't Blow It Vote special, where we had all those great musicians on, and then the virtual Winters of Drag Ball. So I think both of those might be worth nominating. And then there's one called Reflection, and it's who or went above and beyond for you during the pandemic. And you can tell them why you think that maybe Amber Live did. So we'd appreciate some recognition. That'd be nice. So get on there.
There's the link, and I also put it in the chat so people can click right on it in the chat or copy it and paste it and go nominate Amber Live, as well as other great restaurants, bars, things that, well, I guess the bars weren't open for the most part, but there's a lot of categories that you can put nominations into.
Yeah, so we'd appreciate that. So thank you very much for taking the time to do that. All right, so Russell, it's your turn.
Yes, it's time for the Bustiers. We want to thank all our Bustiers. They are the people who support us and have kept this show running for 58 episodes now. We picked up a new Bustier last week, Bianca Woolwick, who was also a guest talking about the imposter syndrome. And she is now a big fan of Amber Live and one of our supporters. And then we have our Super Bustiers, which are Craig Hilliard and Rial Masson, Janet Feeney, John Martin, and Larry Lamori, some of whom I think are watching right now. If you'd like to support Amber Live, you can do it through Venmo at RJD Pro. And we have 3 different levels. If you make a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a sticker. For $100 or more, we'll send you a sticker and a magnet. And for $200 or more, you get a sticker, a magnet, and an Amber Live mug, so you can drink all of your coffee out of that. And again, it's Venmo at RJD Pro, and we really appreciate all of our Bustiers and all the help they've given us throughout this year.
Yeah, people say, what do you do with the money? Well, this week we got a bill for our platform that we use that makes us look so professional. And so that was a few bucks that we were able to pay because of the generous donation. So thank you very much. So, Russell, what's the picture this week for our caption?
The caption of the week is this. If you have a funny caption for this picture, send it in the chat, label it as a caption. And at the end of the show tonight, our special guest, Cousin Craig, will be bringing those up and talking about them.
Yes. Yeah, Jack is occupied tonight, so we brought in Cousin Craig to help backstage, and we're very thankful for him. And so who do we have on the show tonight? What can people expect to see, Russell?
Tonight we have 2 fantastic guests. We have Christopher Pepin-Neff, who is coming to us all the way from Australia, and he's going to talk with Amber about shark attacks and lobbying. So quite a range of things, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then we have a great artist, Paul Edward Pinkman, who has been working on a project throughout the pandemic, or created because of the pandemic, and he's going to talk to you about that and his art and his career. So you'll have a lot of fun. We also have Pass the Tea, final episode on Friday of RuPaul's Drag Race. So we'll find out what the girls think of that. And there's no Lucy Bell this week. What's up with that? I don't know. And, I think people should write in protest and let her know that she needs to get back on the show and be in the kitchen. Barefoot and pregnant.
Where she belongs. That's where she belongs. And then we have
I'm not sure about that. I've seen some of her cooking.
But we also have a special presentation, Oscar-themed visit from Rocco tonight, too.
Yes, so we've got I think he got on a plane and headed to La La Land to be at the Oscars.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing that. We'll talk to you later on, Russell. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, we're going to have fun. All right, like Russell said, our first guest tonight is Chris Pepin-Neff. Now, if you're from Vermont, you might go, boy, that name sounds familiar. Well, yeah, because he still lives in the Colchester area, as well as Sydney, Australia, and that's where he's coming to us from tonight. So come on in, Christopher. Hi, Christopher. I think you're muted. That's, yep.
Hi, Amber. Good day.
Good day. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, so it's good to hear from you. So yeah, you before a previous life, you were the executive director of Outright Vermont. So tell us a little bit about that briefly.
That was a absolutely amazing experience. We had 1,200 youth ages 13 to really 19. And I remember one instance, we started programs like Gendertopia, the gender identity based after school program. They started a queer shuttle. We were in a meeting with the Australia Foundation for Lesbian Justice. And I just said to all the 13-year-olds, go talk to them. And I shut the door and they came out with $10,000. So, youth are amazing. Queer and trans youth are amazing. 40% of our youth were trans or non-binary. I think trans and non-binary is kind of the future of the youth movement, and it certainly is in Vermont.
So that was 10 years ago. You were executive director, and then you decided to shift gears and change professions. What happened, and what'd you do?
I was lucky that I had done a master's degree, and the way it works in Australia is if you do okay in a master's degree, it qualifies you for a PhD. And I had been a shark person my whole life. And they had said to me, you should do a PhD in the politics of shark attacks. And I thought that was crazy. But they let me do it. And so I went from Outright to go finish my PhD. It was sort of a bucket list thing that I wanted to give a try to even try to do a PhD.
So, yes, politics of shark attacks. That sounds very strange. And you did a TED Talk on it. Let's watch a little clip of that.
I'm here to change the way you think about a 2,700-year-old fear. Yes, we're going to talk about shark attacks. In my position, the point that I would make is that at an ideas forum, we're supposed to challenge the fundamental concepts of these ideas. And so I have 3 points. First, sharks do not attack. Second, rogue sharks don't exist. Third, people don't always react negatively to sharks following a shark bite. And it's on the basis of these 3 ideas that I'd like to engage today, because trying to govern ungovernable events distracts us from real shark bite prevention. So first, shark attack. Now, this is a phrase that is invented. And just like other phrases, we see a story emerge. Dogs bite, bees sting, cats scratch, elephants stomp, leeches leech, just to name 5. And each of these comes from somewhere. And there's often a competition between one term and another. Shark attack comes to dominance from Australia in the mid-1930s. In Australia, from the early 1900s into the mid-1930s, when sharks bit people, they were called a number of things. Shark bite, shark incident, and yes, shark attack. But the most common phrase was shark accident. Even when a shark bite was fatal, this was a tragic beach accident, a shark accident. However, a fight was brewing between a well-meaning and well-known Sydney surgeon and shark researcher, Dr. Victor Koppelson, and US researchers. Dr. Koppelson was upset because in the US, it was their position that sharks don't bite north of the Caribbean. It's not even a shark accident. It mustn't have been a shark. So Dr. Koppelson set out to prove that sharks attack as a public service. And he wrote the authoritative journal article of its day, which stated that the evidence that sharks will attack man is complete. The year was 1934. The phrase shark accident begins to disappear. And the US defined shark attack in 1958. So sharks attack not because of a change in shark behavior, but because of a fight between researchers. Second point. In the Gospel according to Jaws, Rogue sharks are sharks that get a taste for human flesh. Now, this is also an invention.
Very interesting. My goodness. Oh, but we've got a question already. Do those magnet bracelets really attract sharks?
No.
Or retract, I should say.
Retract sharks. No, they don't. I wouldn't jump in the water with, hi, Lucy, Lucy Bell. I wouldn't jump in the ocean with magnets to protect me. No, I would not.
So you wrote a book about this as well.
I did, like human shark interactions, because, this book, Flaws, Shark Bites and Emotional Public Policy Making, and which you can get on Amazon. Like I just tried to look at, like, shark bites are like a phenomenon, right? They're like a political phenomenon. Shark bites happen and people freak out, and then governments, it's just like the movie Jaws. And then the mayor says, oh, open the beaches for the 4th of July. You guys are coming up on, it's May almost in Vermont. And, and in Boston, where they have great white sharks, there's a lot of pressure on them to open the beaches, in the summer in New England. And it's very similar to that. So what do you do about sharks in areas where people use the ocean?
Wow, fascinating. And also, but you've recently written another book that just came out too. And that's an interesting, and that's about LGBTQ lobbying in the United States. Tell me the premise of that and what prompted you to write that.
So I was the first lobbyist in the United States for repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And I spent 9 years on Don't Ask, Don't Tell and 6 years on trans in the military, and with 2 years on the Trump administration, then I stopped. I also did, Outright Vermont and these other things. So I did a little statewide, a little federal. And basically, the premise of the book is that lobbying rewards heterosexual superiority. That when you look at what we do, like whether it's marriage or hate crimes, or like I was talking to a friend about hate crimes the other day. Yes, I agree. We should not be killed for being queer and trans. But statistically, we're talking about a few hundred people, as opposed to criminalizing and advancing the criminal, the prison industrial complex. And I don't say this is like a lefty. I just mean that, whether it's criminalizing sex work or criminalizing marijuana or whatever it is, like we in America, we criminalize, be tough on crime. And for the queer community and trans community that is subject to violence on the basis of the criminal justice system, that is not helpful. In my opinion. And so we need to try a different path. And like the other thing I say in the book is we need to talk about poverty and homelessness. The queer community, which usually is selling out the trans community, or the gay community that's usually selling out the trans community, needs to be more attentive to the poor. Like we do, if in 30 days, Amber, we could solve all LGBT rights if we spent every dollar that we spent on bars and hair products on LGBT rights. 30 days, we could solve it.
That sounds very progressive. Yes. So with there's a lot of states that are passing or attempting to pass some anti-trans laws right now. How can we help that?
And they're all going to pass. I mean, they're all going to pass, Amber. I've got 2 words for all these states that pass these laws. Neil Gorsuch. Neil Gorsuch, the Supreme Court Justice, might be the only reason that these laws don't, because the lawsuits will come immediately, and that might be the only thing that stops it. There will end up needing to be a Supreme Court decision on the constitutionality of the existence of trans people, right? Because that's essentially what the marriage law was. It reversed, and Lawrence reversed Bowers, which allowed for gay queer people to exist, gay, lesbian, bisexual. And the question for trans is still outstanding. So that's going to happen. But the thing we also need to pay attention to is I'm already hearing that they're going to water down the Equality Act. So I was in a meeting the other day and people were talking about how they need to water down the Equality Act to get it through the Senate. And they're going to end up adding a religious freedom section to it that sells out trans people again.
Yeah. Well, Christopher, thank you so much. We have lots more to talk to you about, and we'll have you back because you've got just a lot to talk about. And we'll also mention about in Australia, they don't have any vaccinations because they don't have the COVID.
No.
Go figure. All right. We'll have you back in a few minutes. Thank you, Christopher. Wow. Wow. So many sharks lobbying. Oh, fun stuff. Another fun thing that we've really enjoyed this season of the RuPaul's Drag Race and having our two guests from New York City come on and recap every week. This is their final presentation for this, so let's bring on Pass the Tea.
Girl, that's hot.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pass the Tea. I am Angela Mansberry.
And I'm Sherry Poppins, and today we are officially reviewing the grand finale of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13. Yes!
The finale, girl. And it was a great finale. It was such a fun event. It really was like the gay Super Bowl.
It really felt like that, didn't it? There's so much to go over, so let's jump right into it. So we open up, the show starts, and immediately we get a performance by the fracking queen herself, RuPaul.
And she is going to touch the house down, girl.
Boots, mama, boots. She had a cute reveal. She did a little step touch. Honestly, more than we've gotten out of her in years, so
I'll take it. It was a fun way to open, and then we jump right in to 3 runways in a row.
Which they've never done before in a finale, which I thought was really interesting.
It was. And, we got to see some amazing, amazing looks. I mean, the first runway was black and white. And I thought that this was, of the 3, this was the most successful for all of them.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Simone's, I think, was my favorite, though. The silhouette was incredible. And the Band-Aids were, the bandanas were like a really cool, like, cultural touch again for her.
She just has this presence. She walks out looking like the queen from Bridgerton with this giant wig and these giant dresses. That was wonderful. I also, I get chills just thinking about it. I loved Got Mix, Hellraiser inspired. Yes.
Yes, I know. I screamed. I know. I wasn't watching it with you, but I thought of you when she came out looking like that. It was gorge, all that.
Stunning. And I thought Candy, I think this is the best Candy has ever looked on the show. I thought she looked fabulous. I loved the wig. I loved the dress. The message was beautiful. And I loved Rosé's. She was like a My Fair Lady Tim Burton character. And I lived.
Yeah, they all looked stunned. So then the next one was Red. And again, such a great package. All 4 of them looked great. I think my number 1, though, here again was Simone.
It was all inspired by nails. So head to toe nails. She had the nails in the wig. The whole dress was made of red nails. And then she even had the hangnails on the toes.
So fucking funny. And then the last runway was the finale extravaganza. And all 4 of them looked so beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, I particularly love Got Mix in this moment. It was almost like a Hellraiser meets Evil Queen kind of thing.
Also, the construction of that garment. It was a garment by Diego Montoya, who we know is incredible. He also made her LeMay look, right? But like the execution of it was so perfect.
It was
so
gorgeous.
Good.
It was gorgeous. And so we had 3 runways, and then we had our lip sync categories where we had 2 of them versus each other. The first lip sync was Candy versus Rosé. Mm-hmm. And the whole theme of all of the lip syncs were Britney Spears. So the first one was Work Bitch, great lip sync song, of course. And And this was a fun one. The toughest thing, though, I think, was that Rosé had a sprained ankle, which
I know that's such a rough, like fucking. I wonder how she felt in that moment, you know. But maybe because of that, maybe just because Candy has such a great stage presence, which she did. There's no doubt about it. Candy edged her out and got to move on to the final lip sync. So Rosé was the first one to leave. And then I was so bummed about that pairing because then that meant we had to have Gottmik and Simone lip sync together. And I didn't want that in the first round, you know?
That was not what we wanted, everyone, but it's the luck of the wheel. And the second lip sync, it was Gottmik versus Simone, and Simone took it. I mean, Simone is such a powerful performer. You can't take your eyes off of her.
No, and we knew that Gottmik's strengths were not in lip syncing, so we knew that there was already a worry for her there, but I thought she still did better than I expected her to do. But yeah, Simone mopped, hands down, deserved it 100%, which left us with Candy versus Simone for the crown.
And of course, how poetic. They had to do a lip sync to Till the World Ends, which really
I know.
And of course,
literally like global pandemic, they're out here doing this till the world ends. It just felt very fitting, you know?
It felt very fitting. And, you know, it's the finales now are so much about these reveals that these queens bring out on these reveals. And Simone's reveal at one point in the song, these, I don't even know how you describe them. It was like streamers.
Yeah.
Popped out of the top of the wig at like a climactic moment in the song. And I just screamed.
Yeah, and she just looked so stunning. So with that note, we had our winner of the season, and it was Simone. Yay! Yes!
Simone, I mean, such an amazing queen. This has been such an amazing season. I mean, Simone was so consistently amazing. I'm thrilled for her. I think she did such a great job.
Yeah, I think I'm very excited for her reign. I cannot wait to see what she gets to do with this platform now because she's already doing so much. And then of course we did have Lala Ria as our Miss Congeniality, which very deserving. We love Lala.
Yes, that was wonderful. And it was such a great night. It's been such a fun season. I've so much enjoyed doing this with you and all of the people that have watched us all season long. It has been such a fun journey, and thank you so much.
Yeah, truly, everyone that watches and supports us and supports Amber LeMay, of course. Like, there were weeks when like my whole week revolved around me being excited to do this with Angela. So it's been a real treat and a real treasure. And who knows, maybe for season 14 we'll come back. We'll see.
And for the final time for this season, I am Angela Mansberry.
And I'm Sherry Poppins. Back to you, Amber. We love you, girl. Cheers, babe.
Cheers. Cheers.
Mwah.
Girl, that's hot.
Cheers to Angela and Sherry. Thank you so much, girls. That was great. And we do hope you come back just to talk about anything else you'd like to talk about. Yeah, so what did you think of the finals? Do you agree with them? Was it great? Did you like the show? I've heard both ways, but I'd like to know what you have to hear. All right, Russell, come on in.
Hey, Amber. Great show so far.
Yeah, wasn't that fun? That was good, but we got so much more coming up too. We've got the top 5, which is pretty funny this week. Then we have Paul Edward Pinkman. Then we're going to get Paul and Christopher together, and they're going to ask each other questions in our Ask Away segment. And then we've got Rocco's special video presentation.
Oh well, we're trying to get the satellite link to Hollywood set up right now. So
okay,
hopefully that will
work out. Fingers are
got
crossed.
cousin Craig's holding up the antenna on his roof.
So let's show that caption picture one more time so people can put some captions in.
Yes, if you've got a funny caption for that, send it in to Craig, and when he gets down off the roof, we'll be able to have him show the best captions at the end of the show tonight.
Oh, I could come up with a few. That's for sure. All right. Give one more shout out for the bustiers, Russell.
Yes. Thank you again to all our bustiers. And if you'd like to be a bustier, just use that Venmo at RJD Pro and you can support us. And we appreciate it a lot. And then
you have a new contest.
We have a new contest. Yes. You can win this muscle shirt from Amber Live. All you have to do is go to amberlive.tv, and there's a button there that says click to win. If you click on it, you can fill out the form and enter to win a T-shirt. We will be more than happy to get it to you. So please do that. And that helps us out as well. So thank you. And then we have a word from our sponsor.
Hey, it's Lucy Bell. Have you visited the Amber Live store to get your own amazing Amber Live merch? Just visit amberlive.tv and you can see all the incredible items we have for you. Regular coffee mugs, large coffee mugs, and even magic coffee mugs. T-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, tote bags, and even beach towels. Y'all, they make great gifts for your friends. I've got mine. Just visit the Amber store at amberlive.tv and order yours today.
Yes, and we also have pillows too. So if you'd like to have a pillow or any of the other objects, make sure you go to amberlive.tv. At Lucy Bell, let's write some comments to her about why we're going to miss her bitching in the kitchen tonight. All right, so now it's time for my top 5 of the week. Earlier, I talked about Mike Lindell creating his new social media platform. So these are the top 5 things I would do if I created my own social media platform. Number 5, I'd call it Amber Live. Sure, why not? We've already got the merchandise. Number 4, there would be a drag queen filter on everything, whether you like it or not. The number 3 thing I would do is Amber approved porn everywhere. I would have to approve all the porn. Yes. And number 2, I'd ban Trump immediately. Yes, I would. And then number one thing I'd do with my own social media platform, I'd make it welcoming to everybody, well, except for the previously mentioned former guy and the MyPillow guy. They're just creepy. Yeah, so that's what I do with the Amber Live, the new social media platform. So look for it soon. All right. So now it's time for our next guest, Paul Edward Pinkman, an artist, a musician, and he's been doing some great projects during the pandemic. So let's bring Paul Edward Pinkman into the studio.
Cheers,
Hello there, Paul.
Amber.
Oh, what's your beverage of choice there, Paul?
An old-fashioned.
Oh, an old-fashioned. Ooh, how nice. Now, tell me how you make your old-fashioned.
I use Irish whiskey.
Yes.
It's my favorite. So I use Irish whiskey with a little bitters, sugar, and a twist of orange. Just a dash of water.
Very good, Paul. All right, so Paul, you're calling to us from New Jersey tonight. That's your home. So
yeah.
Why am I talking to you? What have you been doing?
Well, I have a little Vermont story I'm going to just pass on to you.
Yes.
So, you know the statement, the Mark Twain statement, the coldest winter I ever spent was summer in San Francisco.
Yes.
Well, the coldest winter I ever spent was winter in Vermont. As an artist, I was at the Vermont Studio Center in Johnson. And I was there twice, and both times it was in January and the beginning of February. And I can tell you, it was unmitigatedly the coldest time I've ever had in my whole life.
Yep, up there in Johnson. I can totally appreciate that. That's true.
I got a lot of work done.
What kind of artist were you doing?
So at the time, I was doing something that is kind of known as neo-expressionism, using images of people, but also with really expressionist artwork, like brush strokes and paints. So it was both an image, but not necessarily like a pretty picture kind of thing. My work has evolved quite a bit since then, but it was quite a
So
good
what do you
experience.
concentrate on these days?
Well, it's funny. When I was doing some work, and I think Russell actually has a couple pictures, right before the pandemic, I went to a residency in Borrego Springs in California. So it's a desert area just east of San Diego. And I love it in the desert. There's something truly spiritual and amazing, and the colors are incredible. And so while I was there, I was inventing and developing all of these abstract pieces that were based on the location, this color and light. And there was this amazing yoga meditation instructor. It was just the perfect kind of thing. Well, I came back, and my husband and I moved when I got back right at the beginning of the pandemic. And we land in our apartment, and then we can't go anywhere. Right. So we're ground zero for the pandemic. We did all our shopping trying to get our toilet paper and paper towels there were none to be had. Right. So we get it all. We hoard up everything. We're ready to go. And then we spent the next 9 months staying in the house, being bored out of our mind. Well, I was like in a space I couldn't work. I just couldn't paint. I was too stressed. But then toward the end of the year, I had one of these dreams, which I am somebody who dreams a lot. And I woke up out of bed, both like infuriatedly angry at the situation. And I went in the studio and I started drawing. And what I drew was my portrait, basically an avatar of myself. When I was in Borrego Springs, I had created a template of my own portrait. And I just started using that as a vehicle for expressing all of the things that I was feeling and that other people had been saying or I'd been overhearing. Like out shopping and all people like in the parking lot yelling about having to wear a mask. And so what I've been doing is just every day I committed to do an entire year of drawings from the pandemic. So one a day, and it gets posted online on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
Russell, can we see some of those? Okay.
Right. This was a collection of 12 of the pieces from the beginning of the series that I got a chance to exhibit in an exhibit in Jersey City in the Pro Arts Gallery.
Oh, how cool.
And it's just the same. And every time it's a different experience because it represents a different state of mind. It's either I'm angry or I'm happy or I'm overheard somebody or our favorite friend, Mr. T, who we shall now talk about, has said something that just gets in under my skin, So every one of them is an expression of some emotion. Right?
So how long does it take you to create one of those panels?
Each panel is one day, usually. The quick ones are really quick, 20 minutes, half an hour. Some of them take a couple hours because I have to think about them. And just the other day I did one that basically said, I have nothing to say because sometimes I just don't,
But that's great that you kept at it every day. So it had to give you some motivation, a goal.
Yeah, it's been a big goal and an important one. This is a piece I did before this in Borrego Springs, and it really comes out of my experience in Borrego Springs and the colors there and the way the landscape is.
So is that considered? There's something erotic about one of those.
Yeah, this is the piece is called Fleshlight, and it really is. Yeah. Yeah, you got the picture.
Okay, so maybe I'm just seeing things. It's been a long year here in my basement too. So I think those are called triptychs when you have three pictures that are one unit there.
Correct.
That's very cool. So are you a professional artist? Is this what you do for a living?
So more and more. I've been painting since I was a kid. I started out, probably my first exhibit was when I was 12 or 13. And I continued through all of it. But, there have been big periods of time when there just was not enough money coming in. So on top of being an artist, and I've continued to exhibit and produce, I also have my own graphic design and web design business. So I develop websites for various companies and try to bring some of my artistic creativity into that process as well.
Well, that's great. That's great. And are you a musician too? Is that what I heard?
That's how I started out. It was funny. My love really is music, and I still listen to every kind of music going. At some point, I had to make a choice. And the thing about being a musician for me was I needed other performers. So it became a complicated process of always having other people. And being an artist was a solo gig. I could do what I wanted when I wanted. And so the art thing really went out, and it stuck. And my work was, some of my photography was shown in a special exhibit in the Louvre in Paris, and has been seen in a couple regional museums and shown in New York City. So I've been very fortunate with my work.
Yes, yeah. So back to the music. What instrument did you play, or do you play?
Guitar and piano, though I haven't had a keyboard for a while, so guitar is really the only thing. I've actually started working with it again after neglecting it for a while.
Well, cool. Well,
Yeah.
Very good. How long have you been with your husband?
It's our 3rd anniversary coming up in May. So,
Wow.
He's from
That's very
India,
nice.
and we actually have, because of the pandemic, let me put it that way, I learned to do 2 things really well. I've learned like half of the population to learn how to cook sourdough bread. and when chasing all over for toilet paper and paper towel and for flour, which I couldn't find anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I now know how to cook Indian food really well. So I'm very happy to be able to say that.
Now, do you have plans to go to India?
I've been there once. We went for our honeymoon to northern India. We did what they call, I think it's the Golden Triangle, which is Delhi, Agra, where the Taj Mahal is, and then Rajasthan. So it was an amazing trip. Hard to describe. Truly amazing.
Well, very cool. Very cool. Well, we've put up your website and your Instagram account, so we'll show that one more time so people can look at more of your art, because it's fascinating, Paul. Do you have any exhibits coming up soon?
Nothing right at the moment. A lot of spaces are still kind of getting themselves going again. I actually work for a nonprofit called the Watchung Art Center, where I curate other artists, because not only do I own my own work, but I want to support other regional and local artists. So we're about to set a schedule for the fall, and that's what's happening with a lot of other spaces. So hopefully
that's so
by
true,
the fall.
If people see art, they want to see more art, and it just helps everyone. If they only see one artist, I've seen it, I don't need to see any more. But the more they see, the more they like. All right, well, that's great, Paul. Well, good luck to you. So let's bring Christopher back in.
Okay.
All right. So Christopher, by the way, it's what time is it there in Sydney?
It's 10:46 a.m. on Monday.
All right, very good. So who won the Oscars last night?
Magic Hat.
All right, very good. Okay, so Christopher, you were listening to my conversation with Paul. Do you have any questions for Paul?
I do. Paul said that the coldest place he'd been, or at least in winter, was Vermont. I'm wondering where the warmest place Paul has ever been.
I can tell you definitively. Actually, so it's a toss-up, and it's a toss-up for one key difference, which is humidity. The hottest place is Borrego Springs in the summer, in the desert in California. The other hottest place is Delhi in the summer, and actually it's not as hot as Borrego Springs, but the humidity makes it fiercely worse.
Mm-hmm. I've always been told if you're going to go to India, go in the winter.
100%, hands down. Don't make the mistake I did.
Well, I think maybe your husband was putting you to the test.
Oh, yes, he totally was.
So, Paul, do you have a question for Chris or myself, or just ask away?
Yeah, so Chris, I wanted to know, do you find gay life and gay lobbying in Australia roughly similar to or radically different from in the US based on the book? How do you find that?
Good question. I think it is broadly similar. Like we had a marriage fight here in Australia, very similar to the one that we had in the US. So some of the issues are the same, and some of the large organizations that control the agenda are the same. I mean, I think the difference is that Australia is just more progressive. So they're not willing to allow people to fall through the cracks the same way that the American system is, right, with the states and the anti-trans laws. Like, that just doesn't fly here. This is a center country. They have mandatory compulsory voting. So 100% of people vote. So it's hard to go. You don't really lurch right or lurch left when you've got 100% voting.
Yeah. So Amber, I have a question for you. I want to get in. So as part of the House of LeMay, was the movie Paris is Burning at all influential, or did it have negative impact on you? Or what?
No, that's why we call ourselves the House of LeMay, is from Paris is Burning, because they created the houses. And about 12 years ago, Russell Dreher created a documentary about the House of LeMay called Slingbacks and Syrup. And in that, Bob talks about the influence of Paris is Burning. And it's just that I was just so enthralled with that documentary. It just hit me on so many different levels about society and how we always have to look down on somebody.
Yep.
We always have to feel we're better than somebody. And that just, because the people in Paris is Burning didn't have much, but they made their own class system. And the TV show Pose that's on FX, that captures some of it, but it's a little more dramatic for TV than that the documentary of Paris is Burning. But yes, that's when we came up with. For a long time, it was just my sister Marguerite and I. We were the Sisters LeMay. But then other people started saying, "Hey, we want to have some fun too." So then our crowd just kept growing, our troupe. So we cast ourselves as the House of LeMay. So yes, nice ear there.
Yeah.
All right.
It was an amazing movie.
I highly recommend it. It spoke to me on so many different levels, about not only about drag, but presentation and self-worth. And yes, very, very good. Anything else, gentlemen?
Well, I was just going to say, on the Paris is Burning point, I was really impressed with the Marsha P. Johnson documentary that looked into her life and her passing. But I was disappointed that there isn't one about the ending of Paris is Burning, because that ending is quite confronting.
Yeah.
And I have always been really interested in whether or not there was more of an investigation into the ending of that documentary. We don't know anything, do we?
I don't. It's been a couple of years since I've watched it. I'm going to have to watch it again. I think we all should watch it periodically. All right. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been fascinating conversation. I'll have you both back, because you both have a lot more to say. So, Christopher, good day to you there in Sydney. And Paul, have a good time there in New Jersey as well. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Wasn't that fun? Very interesting conversations. I like that when we have the guests talk to each other and ask questions. Very good. All right. So I really don't know what's going on. Russell, have we made contact with Rocco?
I think we have. Are you ready for me to bring him on? Because who knows how long this link will hold.
Okay. Then let's get him on. Right. Welcome, Rocco Zamboni. Rocco.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Rocco Zamboni, and I'm here reporting live from the Oscars, or what I thought was the Oscars, but people are saying Academy Awards, whatever the hell that is. Anyway, so my point is, I'm here trying to report on the Oscars and the movies and stuff, and there's nobody here. I mean, virtually nobody. So I don't know, I'm looking for the stars. Besides myself, and I haven't seen anybody. I saw one guy that looked like Ryan Reynolds, but he was eating a sandwich out of a garbage can. So I don't know if it was him or not. Probably. But who knows? This is kind of boring because I'm the only one standing out here on this red carpet. At least they put out a carpet for me. Hey! Here comes somebody now. Look who it is.
You're Rocco Zamboni, aren't you? I watch you on YouTube and that other show, Amber Live.
It's Boog from Boog and Shug. What are you doing here?
Well, as you know, my partner Shug and I have taken a little hiatus from Boog and Shug on YouTube so I can pursue my solo project, Granny. It's Little Orphan Annie, 80 years later, when she takes over a senior assisted living program and gets all the little old ladies to sing along with her. It's so funny! Let me sing a song. I'm up for best song.
Whoa, that's fantastic. I never heard of it. I remember that movie, Annie.
My son may come home to visit. I haven't seen a person in a while. I am scared. There's nurses and people touching me. They poke and prod me all the time. What the hell? Where are you? Where are you? My son, where are you? Won't you please come get me now? What do you think of that?
Well, that's fantastic. So we got to see Boog. Alright, so we saw somebody semi-famous from YouTube and stuff. What he's doing here? Kind of interesting. Anyhow, this blows, let me tell you. So there's movies that are out there, watching movies and stuff, and I really hope the winner tonight is going to be some sort of action movie where the chick gets naked. Because let's face it, those are the best damn movies out there. You know? It's always some art house film, whatever those things are. And what is that, a picture on the wall yammering for about an hour and a half? No, thank you. I don't need that. I want some good stuff, you know? Give me cars, boobs, guns. I'm in.
What do they mean virtual? This is dumb.
So this has been Rocco Zamboni, the only one reporting from the red carpet, and I don't know what's going on. So I'll see you some other time, I guess. Maybe we'll go check out the Grammys and shit.
Rocco. What was his travel allowance? That's what I want to know. None of your bustier money went for that segment. Trust me. Thank you so much. All right. So let's bring Cousin Craig in from the IT department. Hey, Cousin Craig.
Hey there, Amber.
Hey. All right. So how you been doing with that computer tonight?
It's been okay. It freezes up now and then, but it's still winter here, you know. So
yes. So how about let's show that picture of that was the caption picture. Did we have any suggestions for that?
We had a couple funnies that went in.
Yes.
Our good friend Joshua had.
Yes.
Boy, am I tired from drinking too much. Joshua, you really got to cut back on that, you know.
Yes. Tired. Yes, tired.
Yes. Michael Schultz is obviously hungry. He said prepping for dumpster pig roast.
Yes, got to be conservative. Got to be conservative there. Yes.
I think it's one of his favorite meals. Larry, pig in the blanket is down in his luck and lost his blanket. Sounds like a nursery rhyme.
Yes.
Then, Lucy Bell wants to know if this is the BPP.
That's the Beaver Pond Pork Byproduct Processing Plant.
That's right.
Lucy Bell has time to write a comment, but she didn't have time to do Bitchin' in the Kitchen?
Now, are we going to charge them for promotion?
We'll have to talk to Hank owes us.
Yeah. Then there were a couple of comments. I wasn't sure. They didn't say comment in them, so I didn't know if they applied to this, but I think this one from our good friend Gary did.
I hope he wasn't talking about me.
Well, I'm not sure about Harold either, whether that was about captured or not.
Oh, thank you, Harold.
He seemed to be liking the show.
Oh, good. Well, we like people who like the show. Hey, Russell, why don't you come on in and join us?
Hello, Amber.
Oh my gosh, wasn't that a fun show? The conversation.
Fantastic.
Yes,
that was a fantastic show as always. You are funny and lovely.
Ooh. Okay.
Why, thank you, Russell.
Yes.
I thought there was a caption.
Craig, you're the funny one.
All right, so Russell, what do we have to look forward to next week?
Next week, oh my goodness, we have one of our favorite guests is coming back to join us, and that will be Dr. Francois Clemens.
Oh, Dr. Francois Clemens.
Yes. He has an event coming up on PBS in Vermont, and he wants to publicize it a little bit and talk about it. And I think you also might be able to get him to sing a song.
Oh, I'm sure. He had a birthday this week, too. Last week I listed like 5-6 people of our fans and friends who were having birthdays. I forgot Francois Clemens. I forgot Craig Mitchell, who turned 50 this week. And then tonight, Jamie Norwood says that she had turned 36 on the 23rd. So happy birthday, Jamie.
Wow.
Happy birthday to everyone.
A lot of birthdays. Yes.
Yeah. So who else with Francois do we have?
Well, we are working on our second guest. I'm waiting for final confirmation, but I think I'm hoping we have Miss Penny Cost coming to talk with you about what she's up to. You'll have to wait and see.
Ooh. Well, you know what? I think Francois could fill a whole hour.
I'm sure he could. You and I can go out and get some burgers and fries and come back, and he'll still be going.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. Russell, great show putting it together tonight. Cousin Craig, thank you for filling in for Jack. He can fill Jack's shoes. Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much. All right. April's all winding up. We're into May next week. And that's next Sunday night, 8 o'clock, Amber Live. I'm going to be here. Hope you will be too. Wear your mask, okay? Even if you got the shot. Bye-bye.
This show is just like paper. How do you mean? It's terrible!